Has Skylor fallen short?
And that's why I asked for clarification too.
He's fallen short. Yes is the answer I'm looking for.
Yes. And that's
yes, thank you. You made a unilateral decision, as I understand it, based on one side, which was mostly hearsay, was false information, not video evidence. You don't want to talk about?
I'm not going to argue.
You don't want my video evidence that shows what actually happened that day?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I have my evidence.
Okay.
I've made the determination that...
What was your evidence, can I ask?
You have my response in writing. It is a formal
Are you ever going to
response.
clarify whether I can go into these apartments if I'm invited over by the renter?
Did you read the document?
I read it.
Okay. Do you understand?
It talks about addresses in one place and it talks about the property in another, in the same sentence. That's part of the property based on the GSI survey.
So here's...
And isn't the GSI survey the legality, the best legal document to use?
All right, so first off, they're getting split, but I tell you what, I purposely did not put their addresses in there.
Okay.
So the Viridian Apartments, if you have a reason to be there, I'm not going to regulate that.
Okay.
Okay, but those are private apartments.
Okay.
So if you're over there just wandering around and somebody calls, that's out of my hands.
Fair enough. This street right here, am I allowed on this street right here that transports me to the apartment that I may have?
You would have to.
What about the street going in between the apartment and this building right here?
You are, if you do not have business with those apartments, you're not on this property.
What property? This building property or that street out there?
Property.
So
See,
if I don't have, so what about going to Arby's and stuff? That's part of this property too, I think.
Arby's is not our property.
Okay, so I'm not allowed on this street out here either. Is that what you're saying? I mean, I can come back to you.
If you want written clarification, we'll take a look at it.
I just, some of the things are ambiguous to me. I would appreciate that service. I respect you need the time.
Which is why I told you, if you want clarification, you have questions, I will put them in writing.
I did. I put them in writing. I emailed them to you. You didn't respond to me. I put in a request for you to give me a call back orally.
I am not aware of...
You didn't respond.
The big question I get concerned about, what we get concerned about, was whether or not allowed around the apartments. Or you had to be invited around the apartment.
You aren't even concerned about whether I'm allowed. This is not only a freedom of press, this is a freedom of association. But this is an equal rights under the 14th Amendment. Y'all are violating this stuff, and you're not, and all that aside, assuming he's right, I'm going on frickin' what? This happened in September, October, November, December. I'm going on 3 months of trying to get, you're going on 3 months of trying to get clarity. Now let me ask you this. Do you, I'm not asking you about Skylor. I'm asking you about these circumstances. Do you respect the Township Administrator that can't clearly clarify to their local PD the specific restraints of a trespass order? Do you respect someone that in that particular context?
Yeah, the only thing
Do you respect someone that can't communicate after 3 months what the specifics of the trespass letter on?
The only thing I knew...
Come on, be open and transparent.
Yeah.
Keep your reputation intact and put your job a little bit on the line and say Skylor's fallen short here, because that's what's happening, right? Is Skylor fallen short?
That's why.
Has Skylor fallen short?
And that's why I asked for clarification too.
He's fallen short. Yes is the answer I'm looking for.
Yes. And that's
yes. Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. He's fallen short. So.
Did you say you have an open line of communication with Viridian?
I did.
Do you currently?
Have an open line? Yes.
If Viridian has not banned you, then you can be on the Viridian.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying if Viridian has not banned me, which they have not, and I go up there without an invite from them, because people go up and walk their dogs up there. Do all those people have invites from Viridian?
I'm clarifying this with you.
Okay.
You can go to Viridian Properties until you get banned from Viridian Properties.
That's not what that says, is it?
I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
From our enforcement arm. I have as much information as you do, which is this right here. Okay? But you're asking me to clarify because we're the enforcement arm of it.
I need to be correct myself. You're the initial enforcement arm. Whether you
Fair.
deny him and then he goes to the Hamilton County.
Fair.
With his weaponization is a, yep, okay.
But it's my current understanding from what you've told me that you've not been banned from Viridian. So you can be to these apartments, and this even says access drives allowed, patronizing.
The 3 restaurants. He's not giving me access to this.
I think you understand the spirit behind this.
Yeah, it's the weaponized government against Rich Gages because he started investigating the trustees not only that, but also, and this is all in my opinion, investigating the trustees and exercising First Amendment right, Fourth Amendment right, and they didn't like the content that I wrote corruption question mark on the sidewalk to the details. And the way that they've abused this and communicated with me, where it started out in this area and then it expanded, or it started out in this area, then it was reduced to, in essence, this area with maybe that, who knows. I understood it to be just this area. Then, I'd have to go back and look, but it was explicitly not this area, not the apartments. And then it became this area of the apartments, and now this area of the apartments is not on the trespass anymore. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Really, come on. Oh man, here they are. I may be getting arrested, 30 days in jail, I don't know. I don't like the look of it though. Am I going to jail? Am I going to jail? I don't want to answer any questions. This isn't consensual. I don't want to have a conversation with you.
Okay, that's fair. The reason.
All right, thank you. Am I being detained?
I'll tell you why.
For what crime?
Suspicion of criminal trespassing. Okay.
You told me this morning I was allowed to be up here.
Okay.
Did you not tell me this morning I could be up here?
The report that I received was that you're walking down the middle of that grassy knoll area. Is that correct or no?
Who reported that?
Did you walk down the middle of the grassy knoll?
Do you speak English? Did you hear me say this isn't consensual and I don't want to answer questions? I'd like a lawyer if you're gonna interrogate me or ask me questions.
Well, let's just detain you for a minute then.
Okay, I'm now being illegally detained, folks. What's your suspicion of crime? What's your articulable, reasonable suspicion that I committed a crime?
We had a report that you were in the area that earlier
Hearsay?
today,
I'm losing my freedoms over hearsay?
Well,
is that what you're telling me? Because you got information from me. I'll tell you right now, I did not walk across that grassy knoll area. Okay, so now you have contradictory hearsay.
Yeah.
Now, if they're wrong, they're making a false police report, a crime, right?
Well,
why don't you go detain them, or do you only detain citizens? Because I've noticed in the past you give preferential treatment to government employees.
Why not?
Because you're restricting my freedoms. That's why not. That would be the reason why not.
Management about it. I see some over here.
Now, you told me this morning, right? Wherever there's a red line, I'm allowed to be on the red line, right?
I told you within the boundaries.
Right, and you said the red line and out.
He walked around the sidewalk around that building, not down the grassy knoll. Then
Okay, so I know what you're doing now. You're walking on whatever the red lines on that map are, correct?
Here's what I'm doing. Number one, I'm trying to be lawful. All right, that's number one. Number 1B or 1A tied with number 1 is I'm being peaceful, right? Number 3, under threat of arrest, right? You detain me under threat, under violence. Peaceful Rich Gages, who's had the cops called on him multiple times with stating evidence I can prove is wrong. Is your body cams wrong? Thank you. And I do respect y'all. I have tremendous, you watch my videos, you're gonna hear me say, this is a good guy in a tough position. I said in front of you yesterday, because that's what I believe. I've made compromised decisions myself in the past. And you came up here and you detained me illegally on hearsay. Hearsay. It's taken me over 3 months just to get the clarity I have today, which I followed, I thought, to a T. I'm an honest person, I told you that. I've been telling you for a long time that Skylor and his minions, one, they're lying about me. Nobody's investigating that, right? Lies being told to weaponize government against me. You don't even want to look at the video, right, Rich? I said I have evidence of this, and you don't want to look at the video. Is that correct? Is that a yes or no, or is it you don't want to answer questions either? Because
we're getting lost in the weeds here.
We're not lost in the weeds. This is what all this is about. You just detained me on hearsay. Is that correct, Skylor?
No.
That's not correct? What was I detained on? Because I said, am I being detained? He said yes. I said, what's your articulable, reasonable suspicion?
We get a call that you committed a crime. We investigate
that. Is that hearsay?
And during this investigation, you are detained to.
Is that hearsay?
If you get a report,
is that hearsay? Is that hearsay?
If you call,
it is no. We have an
report.
accuser.
It's a report.
You have an accuser? Okay. Now, they said I did a crime, right? Walked across the grass. I'm not allowed to walk across, right? They made a false police report, is that right? Did they give you false information that I committed a
False
crime?
information is if you know that this information is.
They know I didn't walk across that.
I'm going.
Well, they
with
don't.
what I was
They
saying.
know.
under the
They
impression-
they
they're
know
under
they
the
have no
impression-
proof of it.
They're under the impression you're not supposed to be up here unless invited.
We're not even talking about that. Number one.
That's why they called.
Do you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I wasn't invited? Number two, I told you this morning that I have an ongoing relationship with these folks. I'm going to give you extra information and do things I really shouldn't do because I'm a private citizen now giving up privacy. Excuse me, I didn't mean to, that didn't hit you, by the way.
It didn't.
I'm going to step back because you don't know where I've been and you don't know where I'm going. And that ain't a threat in any way. What it's saying is you don't know what I've been, that I've been lied to because your department doesn't even want to look at evidence of a victim, an alleged victim. I claim that I was threatened that day. You have the witness saying, look, you don't want to talk about this because
We're going back.
because that's where the trespass originated from. It originated from lies. You're enforcing a trespass, number one, that they just lied to you about today. Somebody said I walked across that grass, right?
That was the report I received.
Who said that?
I received that report. From
Is
the
that
chief.
true or false information?
He was called by somebody down here.
With the information you have now, is that true or false information? What do you currently believe?
It's incorrect.
Incorrect.
information.
Okay. I call it false information incorrect. I don't know the difference, to be honest. I ain't going to go in to find out what that difference is now. But so somebody said I did something that was criminal that I didn't do. Now, if I say, hey, Skylor came out and hit me while I was standing over there, and I'm not saying that, I'm saying if I said that, and you look at the body cam or you look at the camera video and you say, man, he never did that. Are you telling me that I'm not in any trouble for making that kind of accusation when it didn't happen?
All the time.
Happens all the time.
You call and say somebody's breaking into that car.
You want me to do it? You want me to do a survey and ask the next 100 people I run into if that's ever happened to
You
them?
want to say these things, but you don't want to listen to what I have to say.
I'm very upset.
if you call
Am I
and
still
say-
being detained because you have not yet undetained me?
You're free to go.
Okay, so even after you found out that I shouldn't be being
my
detained,
God.
you continue to detain me.
You actually asked me to come over here.
I did.
Show me something.
Yeah, that's consensual. Now we're having a consensual
Okay.
thing.
Well,
Until
can you
I
let me
said, am
finish
I
what
still
was
being
gonna say?
detained? And you said, no, I was detained.
Do you want to hear what I had to say or not?
Yes, sir.
If you called and said somebody's breaking into this car with the minions there, and we detain them and find out that that's their car, are you going to get charged with that?
Well, it depends.
No, you're not.
It
It's ridiculous.
depends.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You know what Delhi told me was ridiculous? When I found glass all around, a safety issue, and the fire lieutenant already knew about it, didn't do nothing about it. He tried to blame the citizens. Oh, citizens always up here. I notified a police officer. It's on camera. That video's already posted. He went and looked at it. Didn't see an issue. I talked to 4 citizens. First 2 said this is a safety issue, needs fixed today. Fire lieutenant says it's an urgent issue. Urgent issue. They wanted to wait till Monday. I had to negotiate with 2 people, get yelled at, and apologize to the guy that was yelling at me because I'm de-escalating in order to get cones put up for a safety issue. Let me ask you this. If Skylor contacts this apartment building manager and solicits a trespass, that's criminal, right?
What do you mean?
He calls them and says, hey, will you do me a favor and trespass this guy off your property for me?
If they have cause to trespass you,
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if Skylor calls them to solicit a trespass, meaning he says something like, hey, this guy's been a problem in my back. Can you just trespass him as a favor? Are you saying that the township administrator might be able to solicit private companies to get me off their property?
let me ask you this. If he calls and says, hey, these are the issues we have, this gentleman, he's banned from our property, just to let you know, and they decide to ban you as well, is that illegal?
Well, it depends. If you do what you've done with my investigations in the past and just take their word for it, then it wouldn't be illegal. But if you did a real investigation and said, hey, I'm going to value this citizen's complaint, I'm going to take video evidence from them when they offer it, when they say they're being threatened or something like that, and you go and talk to the manager and say, hey, why did you trespass them? And if she says, because Skylor asked me to, then I would say, yeah, that might be criminal. If she says, hey, I just, I don't want to give a reason, because they don't have to give a reason to trespass you if they're private. Mm-hmm. Then you say, okay, that's the end of investigation. I did my due diligence. What do you think about that as a response? Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
Are you just, appeasing me with the sure? Or can I take that to the bank?
We're speculating here.
Hypothesizing, but what do you think how do you think Skylor feels about that when I post a video saying this is under his domain? Look at all the crap he's doing.
Obviously not under his domain because you wouldn't be allowed here.
Well, it is because he tried to not let me be allowed here. So if you're saying that I am allowed here and I have evidence that shows that he that I was threatened with arrest if I come here, then isn't he making illegal threats against me, against my freedom?
If they have cause to ban you, then no.
Were you going to arrest me today if I had broken that law? No, I'm asking you if I had broken the law, what were your plans?
You could have gone that way, yes.
You come up here 3 strong, 2 lieutenants and a officer?
I came up here because I knew the backstory.
Don't downgrade, devalue yourself. I'm sorry?
Good afternoon, Delhi Township Administration. How can I help you?
Hi, Lori. The police were just called on me. They actually detained me, and then they let me go. And I'm wondering, can I stop in and make some public records request? I'm like, you know, I'm on the other side of your building right now. I'm right in front of the Christmas tree, basically.
Okay, can you hold on a second? I have somebody at the window, and I'll have to get Skylor to approve that for you. Okay, can you hold on a second?
Yes. And I'm sorry, Lori.
Good afternoon, Delhi Township Administration. How can I help you?
Hi, Lori, it's Rich. It's been 30 minutes, so I thought it'd be prudent just to call in and just do a check-in. Is somebody still coming out?
Yes, someone should be out to see you shortly.
So yeah, this is a service I think you can expect from Delhi. We'll be right with you. 50 minutes later. Well, we'll be right with you. 30 minutes later. We'll be there shortly. I got the impression that meant 10, 15 minutes. So there's another 20 minutes later. Oh. Can I come across? Okay, so I have permission from, I think this is Chief Jeff, yeah, to walk across this area. Hopefully you can let somebody know so I'm not threatened with violence again. Are you taking my request? So I can be detained when based on hearsay?
So I'm not going to get into that with you. I'm going to talk to our...
Come on, you're Mr. Transparency, aren't you?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. What I want to do with you is I got your message. I want to come and sit down and have a conversation. I don't want to do it here.
Okay, I respect that, sir.
So here, I went in and I modified this. So
y'all are killing me.
So it's clear. Okay?
Make sure I'm recording.
If you can record. Okay, so we can put it here. So this is...
Yes, sir.
I removed all of the apartments. Okay, with the exception of down the middle. Building to building, and between the buildings is off limits. You can you can go on the apartments, you can go to the restaurants, you can do all that stuff until if they ban you, then that's up to them.
I understand.
Okay.
Can I ask you this question?
Sure.
If you say no, I respect it. Can Skylor legally solicit a trespass from them? In other words,
no.
Can he call them and say, hey, as a favor, will you trespass this guy for me?
No, he wouldn't do that for one.
Well, you'd
That's
be
fine.
surprised what.
Okay.
I was just lied about. You don't want to talk about it, but he would do it.
I don't want to waste any more time. What I want to do is I want to be able to, for you and I to set up a time and date where you can come in and we're good, by the way. You might not think we are, but we're fine. I didn't, I was with my wife at the
I'm
Christmas
going to get into it, Jeff, but
okay.
I plan on spending Christmas with my family. I saw 2 lieutenants and officers show up, and my first thought is, I might be doing 30 fucking days in jail, man.
Okay.
30 days. I'm not prepared to go to jail.
Hold on. Okay.
Sorry,
don't get all excited on me, because otherwise
this ain't excitement. This is depression.
Okay. Here's
this is depression brought on specifically by Skylor Miller. I'm not yelling.
There's people here.
Nobody's complaining, Jeff. Nobody.
Okay.
This guy don't even like looking over like there's an issue going on. You're trying to make issues of nothing.
Okay. Here's what
I'm done with the weaponization. I'm done with it.
Let's just have a conversation between you and I. Okay.
Let's do it.
So this is clear. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have questions.
Wall to wall, down the middle, up until the main drive up there. This area here and this area here. The apartments.
This street's off limits, right?
From this, yeah. The sidewalk and this, yes.
This sidewalk's off limits?
Correct. Between the buildings here is off limits. Between these buildings is off limits. Between that building is off limits.
Okay, so I'm not now because I'm talking with you. I'm assuming we're okay.
Yeah,
but would I normally be illegal here then?
Would you normally what?
Be illegal here? Is this trespassing? Because this looks like it's part of that sidewalk, that I'm not allowed to be on that sidewalk.
You're not allowed to be on that one either.
I'm not allowed to be here?
Here, no, between these,
Okay,
all the way
so-
between these buildings.
So I'm
This whole
illegal,
middle-
and then now I'm legal, right?
This whole middle area, you can't be anywhere here.
I'm legal now, right?
You're not here either.
But I am legal, yes,
No.
right now?
No.
I'm
You
not
can't
legal?
be between these two buildings at all.
Oh, I can't be between, so I can't be on this sidewalk either.
Correct.
Can I see that map?
It's from building
So
to building.
how do I get to my buddy's place there?
Okay, you're gonna walk around and go around the front.
Around the front?
Mhm.
Oh,
The
the
other
other side? I can get in there from the other side?
Okay.
Okay.
This way it's crisp, clean cut. There's no ifs. Well, can you be here? Can you be
What do you
here?
call this? Is
Can
this
you
a
be here?
traditional public forum or
This-
a limited
this is-
public forum?
This is a sidewalk.
Just a like Delhi Pike sidewalk?
No,
It's a different kind of sidewalk.
different kind. Yeah.
Nobody's picked up. I can see that we've called out to your number. However, Jeff did stop in from Delhi and said that all communication with you he needs to be CC'd on it. So this is just me saying, hey, if you want to speak with us, totally fine, but it does need to be in an email format with Jeff CC'd on it.
That was like an order that was given to you from Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Do-
yeah, you're more than welcome to reach out to us, but he does have to be CC'd on all communication.
Okay, so do you all not want me up on the property anymore?
You would have to ask. I mean, unfortunately, we can't invite you back to the property without Jeff being aware of it.
And so if I make him aware, then then you're okay with that?
I'm not saying that we're okay with it. No, he would have to be, if you do come back to the office, he needs to be present. If you're making any calls, he would need to be on the line. And if you email, he has to be CC'd on it. He just needs to be aware of any communication with us.
Oh, and that's all coming from him?
I believe so.
You're not sure though?
Unfortunately, I can't speak with you any further without him copied. So if you want, you're more than welcome to email the questions with him copied on it.
Are you all still willing to rent an apartment to me up there?
You can ask the question via email with him copied on it.
Okay, so you all are preventing doing business with me without Jeff present or without his approval?
We were told he needs to be CC'd on the communication.
And was that under threat of arrest, that you'd be arrested if you didn't do that, or are you just
I can't
complying?
answer any questions unless it's sent via email with him CC'd. Thank you so
Okay.
much for your time today.
Yep, thank you.
Right.